Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes. Only 3 devotees have joined until now. Yeah, I think because of long gap between the classes. So anyway. ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांश्च। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. So Hare Krishna devotees, welcome back to the session 27 of Master the Basics of Sanskrit Grammar and Sahitya. I hope you all would have revised all of the concepts which have been taught in the prior classes. If anyone has any questions from the prior classes, they can ask now, or otherwise we can just proceed on with the today's syllabus. Yes,
What?
Mataji.
Why are you shouting?
Prabhuji, in last class, Karakam Namakim class, you have given one example. Devadattaha Mahanase Avapanat Tandulam Thalayam Agninam Pachati. So here I am
Yes.
little bit confused, which is Prathama Vibhakti, which is Vidya Vibhakti, because Shashti Vibhakti will
Okay,
not
that
come.
one. Mataji,
Huh.
that example, just leave it. That
Okay.
example, I just used it to indicate the different karakas expressed through different vibhaktis. So the
Okay, okay.
vibhakti are denoting different karakas, and I took that example. And you don't take it literally that if we just arrange that
Huh.
whole sentence and there are
Actually,
different
today I was
karmas.
trying that to write karta, which is karta, and which is karma, which is this, but I was totally confused. But I
Yeah.
understood this example, Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Ayodhyaya
Yeah, that is.
Raja Denun Hastena Vipraya Goshthat Ganga Tire Dadati. This example totally I have explained, but I am not able to relate it to that example. That's why I got little confused. Only that one.
Yeah, that example is little bit confusing.
Yes.
Like if you just put it in a sentence, but the intention to put that example was just to, make you understand that how the different vibhaktis are denoting different karakas. So don't take that sentence literally, but just take it as an example. And the example which is given in the next slides, the later slides, along with the flow charts. So that
That I understood. That I understood.
very yes.
Oh, thank you, Prabhuji.
Any other question? It's been a long gap. 3 days. Already Saturday, Sunday, no classes. Again, yesterday there was no class. Actually, I was traveling. So that's why we could not take the class. So from today onwards, we will be studying a very important concept that is called samasa. Okay, samasa. What is samasa? What are the different types of samasa? How the samasa occurs? Everything I will be explaining in the in the coming classes and in today's class also. Before we get into that, we will just chant Mangalasharanam prayers. Shuklam Baradharam Vishnum Shashivarnam Chaturbhujam Prasanna Vadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopasantaye Saraswati Namastobhyam Varade Kama Rupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada Yenakshara Samamnayam Adhigamya Maheshwarat Kritsnam Vyakaranam Proktam Tasmai Panina Ye Namaha Vakyakaram Vararuchim Bhashyakaram Patanjalim Paninim Sutrakaram Cha Pranatosmi Munitrayam वागर्थाविव संपृक्तौ वागर्थ प्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वंदे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Okay. So, samasa. First of all, samasa, the word samasa in English, it is called a compound word. A compound word. For example, football. Foot, there are two words there in this compound word. And this word is denoting that the ball which is played through foot, that is called football. So one shabda, one word is foot, another word is ball. And both are two different words used in individual sentences. But we want to specify which type of ball is that, which type of ball you are indicating. Then we will tell football, the ball through which, the ball which is played through the foot, which is hit by the foot, that ball I'm indicating. So what is this football? The explanation which I gave just now, the ball which is hit, which is played by foot, that is called football. So this whole explanation about football is called Vigraha Vakyam. You can make a note of it. This is called Vigraha Vakyam, or the explanation of the compound word. In Sanskrit, the explanation of the compound word is called Vigraha Vakyam. Okay, samasa means what? What is a samasa? Anekasya padasya ekapadi bhavanam iti samasah. Anekasya padasya ekapadi bhavanam iti samasah. There are many padas, like in compound word, foot is another word, and then ball is another word. Or example, firefighter. He's a fighter. Okay, firefighter. So then fire is another word, fighter is another word. Then what else? Note, book. So note is one word, book is another word. So when we combine them, we are indicating a particular object. So samasa or compound word means anekasya padasya ekapadi bhavanam. Like for example, football is there, then we are not keeping the space between foot and ball. We are writing football together. Then only we are indicating a particular object. Similarly, the samasa is that there are many subanta padas. There are many padas, Ramaha, Lakshmanaha. When we are making it ekapadi bhavanam, okay, when we are conjoining them in one pada, that is the process of samasa. That is the process of samasa. The definition of samasa, can you write it down? Anekasya padasya ekapadi bhavanam iti samasa. Like for example, Ramaha Lakshmanaha cha vanam gachatah. Ramaha Lakshmanaha cha vanam gachatah iti vakyam. Astu. Here what happened? Ramaha Lakshmanaha, there are two people. There are two people who are doing the kriya, that is gachati, or the gamana kriya they are doing. So what is the karma here? Vanam is the karma here. Through the gachati, through the kriya of gamanam, they are intending to meet an object that is called vanam. When they will meet the vanam object, then the kriya of gachati will be completed. So the result of gachati, where it is seen, the result is that when we meet that object, when we are in the vanam, so that is the phalam we are going to get through the kriya gachati. Now here, two people are performing the same action. Two people are performing the actions. Gachati. Ramaha and Lakshmana. So gachati, gachataha, gachanti. Because there are two people who are performing the actions, so that's why gachataha is used. If there is one person doing that action, then gachati will be used. Now, ekapadi bhavana, anekasya padasya. Now there are two padas, Ramaha and Lakshmana. And both are performing the same action. Okay. Now, if you want to just combine them, if you want to make in ekapadi bhavanam, or if you want to make in one pada, then how it will be? By the rule of samasa, by the rule of compound word, the Ramaha and Lakshmanaha will become Rama Lakshmanau. So this has become one word. Before there were two words, Ramaha and Lakshmana. But the process of making many words into one word, that is called samasa. So Ramaha Lakshmanaha, by the another samasaha, it became Rama Lakshmanau Vanam Gacchataha. Rama Lakshmanau Vanam Gacchataha. So this has become one word. But the meaning which is being intended, that is same only. That Rama and Lakshmana both are going to be one. But through the samasa, we are making into one word. Rama Lakshmanau. Okay, Rama Lakshmanau. For example, more examples are there. Kalidasa Virachitam Kavyam Sarvaihi Pathaniyam. So there are two words, Kalidasa and Virachitam. There are two words. But through the help of samasa, we are writing Kalidasa Virachitam. That means that there is something which is written, there is something which is written by Kalidasa. There is something which is rendered by Kalidasa, and that kavya should be read by everyone. So Kalidasa Virachitam Kavyam Sarvaihi Pathaniyam. Then Veera Purushaha Desha Rakshanaya Yudhyante. Veera is another word. Purushaha is another word. Then Veera Purushaha means the people who are Veera, who are very courageous people. Then Desha Rakshanaya means what? Deshasya Rakshanaya, or for the protection of Desha. For the protection of Desha, they are Yudhyante, they are fighting. So courageous people, they are fighting for the protection of Desha. Then Upakrishnam Gavaha Charanti. So here again, Upa is another word, Krishnam is another word. Then through the help of samasa, it becomes Upakrishnam or Krishnasya Samipam. Then Valmikihi Tapas Swadhyaya Niratam Naradam Prishtavan. So Tapaha is another word, Swadhyaya is another word, Niratam is another word. Tapaha Swadhyaya Niratam Naradam Prishtavan. So in that way, Anekasya Padasya Ekapadi Bhavanam iti samasa. So these are the examples of samasas. Now there are some terminologies. There are some paribhashika padani or terminologies related to the samasa. So what are those terminologies? Kindly make a note of it. The very first terminology which is used in the process of samasa, that is Vigraha Vakyam. That is the concept of Vigraha Vakyam. The sentence, the Yat Vakyam Samasadehe Artham Bodhayati Tad Vigraha Vakyam iti Uchyate. The sentence which tells the meaning of the samasa. That sentence which tells the meaning of the samasa is called Vigraha Vakyam. Udaharanam, the meaning of Sitapatihi. Sitapatihi, there is a samasa here. Samastapadam. Okay. So there is a samasa here. And Sitapatihi, what does that mean? Sitapatihi means the pati of Sita. The pati of Sita. The husband of Sita. So the meaning of Sitapati is told by the sentence in Sanskrit, Sita Yaha Patihi. Or in English, the husband of Sita. So this Sitapati is a vigraha, is a samasa. Samastapada. Or where the samasa is being applied. And when you are intending to explain the samasa, the compound word, then that explanation is called Vigraha Vakyam. That is called Vigraha Vakyam. So what is the Vigraha Vakyam of Sitapatihi? Sitayaha Patihi is Vigraha Vakyam. Okay? Or the husband of goddess Sita. Vigraha Vakyam, it is an explanation of the compound word. Through Vigraha Vakyam, we can understand the type of samasa used in the pada. Okay. So through this help of Vigraha Vakyam, we can understand, okay, which type of samasa is being used. Is it Tat Purusha Samasaha, or is it Bahuvrihi Samasaha, or is it any other samasa? So that we can understand. And this samasa is applied to two words or more words. So gradually I will be explaining how the samasa is applied with the help of two words or maybe more words. In the Vigraha Vakyam, the relationship of two words is understood. Okay, in the Vigraha Vakyam, the relationship of two words is understood. Like for example, Sita Patihi, the relationship between Sita and Pati is understood. Okay. So the Pati belongs to, the Pati is of Sita. Okay. Then Sita Yaha Pati, for example, Sita Yaha Pati is a Vigraha Vakyam. It is just an explanation, so these vibhaktis will not be there while doing sandhi or combination of words, ekapati bhavan. So what happens, Vigraha Vakyam means explanation. And when you are intending to do samasa, or when you want to combine that word, then what will happen? The pratipadikam of those words will only stay. The pratipadikam of those two words will only stay, and they will combine. So Sita is a pratipadikam, Pati is another pratipadikam. And then these two pratipadikas will make another new pratipadika, that is Sita Pati. And if it is Suk, another new pratipadikam has been formed. So then Suk Pratyas will be applied, and then it will become Subantam Padam. So Sita Patihi. Okay, Vigraha Vakyam is just an explanation of the samasa. But when we want to combine the two words, so then the combination of two words is there when the two words are in the pratipadikam, when they get the status of the pratipadika. Then by the help of two pratipadikas, when there is a combination of two pratipadikas, then a new pratipadika is formed. And then the supratyayas are applied. Okay. So Purva Padam and Uttara Padam. Now another terminology which is being used in samasa. What is that? Purva Padam and Uttara Padam. Samasta pade yat prathamam padam tat purva padam ityuchyate. The first word in a compound word is called purva pada. So usually the samasa occurs between the two words. Okay. There is a combination of two words and some meaning is intended. For example, football, foot is one word, ball is another word. So here, what is the purva padam? Purva padam means the first word, that is foot. Like Sita patihi ityatra, Sita iti purva pada. Like in Sandhi, what we have purva varnaha and para varnaha. Yes. Similarly, in samasa also we have purva padam, the previous pada. Sita is the purva pada. Then samasta pade antyam padam, the last word in the samasta pada, or the word where the samasa is being applied, or the compound word. So that word is called uttara padam. The last word in a compound word is called uttara padam. Like for example, Sita patihi ityatra, patihi iti uttara padam. Like foot is the pura padam, ball is the uttara padam. Okay. So just look at these examples. Samasta padam, or the compound word, is Sita pati. Pura padam is Sita, uttara padam is Pati. And what is the Vigraha Vakyam? Sita yaha patihi. Then another compound word is Upa Krishnam. Upa is Pura padam, Krishnam is the uttara padam. What will be the Vigraha Vakyam? Krishnasya samipam. Then Samasta padam, Pustaka hastaha. What is the Pura pada? Pustaka is the Pura pada, uttara padam is the hasta. So Vigraha Vakyam will be Pustakam haste yasya saha. The one in whose hands the pustaka is lying. In whose hands the pustakam is lying, that person. So that person will be called Pustaka hasta. If I am having the pustaka in my hands, then I will be called Pustaka hasta, because the book is lying in my hands. So this is the example of Bahuvrihi Samasa. So there are many types of samasas, and based on that samasa, we get different types of Vigraha Vakyams. Okay. How to understand which Shabda will get which samasa and what will be the Vigraha Vakyam of which samasa? I will be explaining all these things gradually. Okay. So until now, this much, I hope it is understood. Purva Padam and Uttara Padam, and also the Vigraha Vakyam. What is the meaning of Vigraha Vakyam? Then more examples. Suryasya darshanam becomes Surya darshan. These are all Vigraha Vakyam and these are Samastapadas. Devakyaha Nandanaha Devaki Nandanaha. Krishnam Falakam Krishna Falakam. Then Bahuni Falani Yasmin Saha Vrikshaha. Bahu Falaha. Bahuni Falani Yasmin Saha Vrikshaha. Bahu Falaha means what? In where many fruits are there. Where many fruits are there, that is Vriksha. So in Vriksha, many fruits are there. Then Samskritasya Seva is the Vigraha Vakyam. Samasta Padam is Samskrita Seva. Bharatam iti deshaha, that is Bharata Desha. So this is another samasa is being applied. So this is Vigraha Vakyam and this is Samasta Padam. Okay. Like for Lord we apply Devaki Nandanaha. So Devaki Nandana means what? Devakyaha Nandana, or the son of Mother Devaki. The son of Mother Devaki, that is Lord Shri Krishna. Kunti Putraha. Kunti Putro Yudhishthiraha. So Kunti Putraha, that is Kuntyaha Putraha, that is the Vigraha Vakya. Pashupatihi. Pashunam Patihi. Okay, Pashupatihi word is used to denote whom? Anyone knows Pashupatihi?
Lord Shiva.
Lord Shiva, yes. So Lord Shiva's another name is Pashupati. Pashunam Pati, the Pati or the master of all the Pashus. Then Neela Megaha, Neelaha Megaha. Then Krishna Arjuna, Krishnaha cha Arjunaha cha becomes Krishna Arjunau. Adhita Shastraha, Adhitam Shastram Yena Saha. Adhitam Shastram Yena Saha. So that will be Adhita Shastra. Through whom the Shastras are Adhita, through whom the Shastras are understood. So that is Adhita Shastra. Then Mahakavihi is the Samasta Padam. The Vigraha Vakyam is Mahan Kavihi. Mahan Kavihi becomes Mahakavihi. Okay. Just look at this example, observe the examples and try to understand what is the Samasta Padam and the Vigraha Vakyam. Okay. Now another lesson is that Sandhi Samasa Yoho Bhedaha. What is the difference between Sandhi and Samasa? We will try to understand. Sandhi. Sandhi occurs between two sounds. Sandhi occurs between sounds. If there is Purva Varnaha and Para Varna is there, then according to the rules of Sandhi, the particular Sandhi will be applied. If the conditions match, then that particular Sandhi will be applied. But Samasa occurs between not sounds, not between Pura Varna or Para Varna, but Samasa occurs between the words. Samasa occurs between the words. As letters are present in the words, Sandhi can occur within a Samasa also. Yes. So letters, because letters only constitute the words. Okay. The words are they are made up of letters. And if there are two words, okay, and the last letter of the first word and the first letter of the next word, if there is there, and the conditions of sandhis are matching, then the sandhi, that particular sandhi will occur. In that, within the samasa also. But the rules of samasa, the regulations of samasa will occur between the words only. So there are no conditions that if this is the Pura Varnaha and this is the Para Varnaha, then the Samasa will be applied. No. But according to the meaning, according to the relationship between two padas, we have to understand which Samasa will occur here. Okay. So this is the difference between Sandhi and Samasa. Sandhi occurs between sounds and Samasa occurs between verbs. Next. Sandhi versus Samasa. So Sandhi can be optional or compulsory between two letters at the end of the words based on the rules. So we have learned in the previous classes also, while I was discussing about Sandhi, that when Sandhi is compulsory and when Sandhi is optional. Samhitaikai pade nitya dhatu upasargayoho nitya samase vakye tu sa vivaksham apekshate. Sandhi can be optional or compulsory in when the letters between the two letters at the end of the words. So when the padam is formed already, then that place sandhi is optional. It's up to the desire of the speaker. But within the samasa, within the process, within the formation of the samasta padam, the sandhi is compulsory. If there is a chance of doing sandhi within a samasa, then it is compulsory. Nitya samase. It is not up to the speaker. So it is not that if I desire, then I can just apply the sandhi, or if I don't, then I can just break it. So it is not like that. Sandhi is compulsory within the samastam padam. Okay. So more examples, if you see Devalayah, then Pitragya, Manoharaha. So here there are Vigraha Vakyams and there is Sandhi. The subsequent Sandhi is being applied. So here Samasa is also there, and later on Deva Alaya is there. So Devasya Alaya. Then Vigraha Vakyam is just the explanation. But the Pratipadikas, they form a new Pratipadika. Deva is Pratipadika 1 and Alaya is another Pratipadika. Then they denote another new Pratipadika is formed. So it becomes Devalaya. So Samasa plus Sandhi. Then Devasyalayah, Pituragya, Manasoharaha. In these places, only the Sandhi is applied. There is no Samasa. Okay, there is only Sandhi applied. Okay, some more points to remember in Samasa. What are they? A compound word cannot be written or pronounced separately. A compound word cannot be written or pronounced separately. Like Sita Patihi, there are two words in that. And if you want to write them, then we cannot just put a space in between Sita and Patihi. We have to write it in combined. So we have to write it together. Like similarly in football, we cannot write foot and then we can keep a space in ball. So that will not be a compound word. We have to write together, football. So similarly, when we pronounce also, it should not be like foot and ball. We should not pronounce the compound words in that way. But we should pronounce those compound words together, not separately. Like Sita Pati, not Sita and Patihi, but Sita Patihi. Then kramaha nishchitaha parivartiyatum na shakyate. The Purva Pada and Uttara Pada cannot be interchanged. The order is decided. So in Samasta Padam, what is the rule? That the Purva Pada, the status which is given, the word which is being given the status of Purva Pada, and the another word which is being given the status of Uttara Pada, that cannot be interchanged. That is not possible. Like for example, football is there. So we cannot tell ball foot. Yes, we cannot tell ball foot. Then that will not give the proper meaning, which we are intending to do. So that's why the Pura Pada and Uttara Pada, the order is already decided. Madhye anyesham padanam yojanam na karaniyam. Within a samasa, you cannot add any other words. So it is not like Sita Pati is there and it's a compound word. And between the Sita and Pati, I just add some other words in between. So it is not possible. Then the meaning will also be, we will not be able to get. Like Sita Ramasya Patihi. No. If you want to put the proper samasa, the rule of samasa, then there should be no any other word should not be put between the samastam pada, between the samasa. Okay. So like examples you see, sandhi, these are the examples of sandhi. So in sandhi, there is no problem. But in samasa, if you see aham devalayam gacchami. So this is correct because we are pronouncing them together. But if we pronounce aham deva alayam gacchami, this is wrong. Because we are pronouncing the samastam padam separately. The pura padam separately, alayam and uttara padam separately. So that is wrong. Aham alaya devam. We are interchanging the positions of pura pada and uttara pada. So uttara pada has become pura pada and pura pada has become uttara pada. We cannot interchange. So that will give wrong meaning. And next, another word is deva aham gacchami alayam. So what is this? So the last one which I told, within a samasa, you cannot add any other words. So here what I'm doing, deva is one word, and in between alayam, deva and alayam, I am putting two more words. Aham gacchami. So this is wrong. We cannot do that. Okay. We cannot put more words between the samastam padam. Generally, samasa occurs between two sabantas only and not between tingantam. Samasa occurs between two subantas only. Okay, two subanta padas only and not between tingantam. Generally. So, Ragyaha Purushaha. Ragyaha Purushaha. Ragyaha is a subantam padam. Purushaha is another subantam padam. And then it becomes Raja Purushaha. Okay. Basic rules of samasa. Just I think it's a summarization. So subantanam eva samasa. Samasaha tingantanam na bhavati. So subanta, the samasa occurs between the subanta padas only. And subantas are what? Nama padani, avyayani, kridantaha, tadhitantaha, visheshanani, sankhyaha. So until now I have taught everything. Only tadhitantaha I will teach after samasa. But other things you know. Okay. So Subanta Padam, these are the Subanta Padas, and in that only the Samasa will. What is the another rule of Samasa? Dvayoho eva yugapat Samasaha. Samasaha yugapat dvayoho madhye eva bhavati. Dvandve tu bahunam api. Only one Samasa can occur at one time. Only one Samasa can occur at one time. So for example, when we want to write the Vigraha Vakyam. If you want to give the explanation of the Samastam Padam, then we have to first of all take the first two padas. Then later on, the explanation, the relationship between more other padas. Like for example, Raja Purusha Agamana. Raja Purusha Agamana. So first of all, at one time, we are taking two padas. What are they? Ragyaha, Raja Purusha. And the explanation which is being given is Ragyaha Purusha. So the Purusha belongs to Raja or the kinsman, the servant of king or the kinsman, the Purusha of Raja. So we are taking Purapada and Uttarapada and we are giving the explanation of that particular padas. We are giving the explanation of that particular Samastam pada. Then later on, Raja Purushasya Agamanam. Raja Purushasya Agamanam is another Samasa being applied. Okay. So Raja Purusha, first of all, we took that. Then after it became Raja Purushaha. Then Raja Purusha Agamanam, we gave more explanation to that. Then it becomes Raja Purushasya Agamanam. So when we are writing the Vigraha Vakyams of the Samastam Padam, then first of all, take the two words. Then give more explanation to the other padas. So this process of how to give Vigraha Vakyams for the Samastam Padam, gradually when we will be learning more Samasas, you will be getting more proper understanding. But for now, just get a theoretical knowledge. Just get a theoretical way of understanding that how the Vigraha Vakyams occur. How Vigraha Vakyams are given for the Samastam Padams. But this thing does not apply to Dvandva Samasa. But in Dvandva Samasa, another type of Samasa, what happens? Samasa is there, but it is there in many padas. Harihi, then Harihi cha, Haraha cha, Guruhu cha. So in that way, we have three padas. And all of them in one Vigraha Vakyam, we are giving the explanation of that. And then it becomes Hari Hara Guravaha. So Dvandva Samase in that many words at once in Vigraha Vakyam, we can give the explanation to that. But in the other words, Raja Purusha Agamanam, the very first step, you take two padas, give explanation. Then later on, the other words which are there in the Samastam Padam, you give explanation for that. But in Dvandva Samasa, at once you can give the explanation of the Vigraha Vakyam for all the padas in the Samastam Padam. So this is the thing. Okay. Now, the divisions of samasa. What are the types of samasa? There are two types of samasa basically. What are they? Kevala samasa and Vishesha samasa. Kevala samasa and Vishesha samasa. These are the two major divisions. These are the two major divisions. Okay. Then Vishesha samasa. In Vishesha samasa, there are more subdivisions. What are they? Avyayi bhava samasah, tatpurusha samasah, bahuvrihi samasah, dvandva samasa. So this comes under the category of Vishesha samasa. Then in Vishesha samasa, the tatpurusha, bahuvrihi, dvandva, avyayi bhava are there. In tatpurusha also there are more subdivisions. In bahuvrihi also there are more subdivisions. In dvandva also, and in avyayi bhava also. So in Tatpurusha Samasaha, the primary divisions which are given, that are Samanya Tatpurusha Samasaha. Then the second subtype is Karma Dharaya Samasaha. Then the third type is Dvigu Samasaha. Then the fourth type of Tatpurusha Samasaha is Nahe Prabhritaya Samasa. In Samanya Tatpurusha Samasa, there are more 7 subdivisions. In Karma Dharaya Samasa, there are more 9 divisions. Then in Dvigu Samasa, there are more 3 divisions, subdivisions. And in Naya Prabhritaya Samasa, there are more 5 subdivisions. Then in Bahuvrihi Samasa, there are 2 divisions, Samanya Bahuvrihi Samasa and Vishesha Bahuvrihi Samasa. In that also, we have 6 types of Samanya and 9 types of Vishesha. Then in Dvandva Samasa, which is of Vishesha Samasa, then in Dvandva Samasa, we have 2 types. Itaretara Yoga Dvandva Samasaha, and the second one is Samahara Dvandva Samasa. In Itaretara Yoga Dvandva Samasa, we have more 2 subdivisions. In Samahara Dvandva Samasa, we have 2 more subdivisions. Then in Avyaya Bhava Samasa, we have Avyaya Purapada Samasa, Avyaya Uttarapada Samasa, then Avyaya Padarahita Samasa. And also we have more 33 types of subdivisions of these samasas. So it's a huge topic. There are many subdivisions, so many divisions are there of the samasa. And many Vigraha Vakyams, all the samasas have their own different types of Vigraha Vakyams, intending to give different meanings for, different meanings are being intended through the different samasas.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, this
Yes.
33 you mentioned, this is the further than the 3 already there. So it's like another 33 on top of the 3 listed there, right? Or it's like it's further subdivision of 3.
No. It's more subdivisions of the Avyaya Bhava Samasa, apart from the 3.
Okay, thank you.
Apart from the 3, we have more 33 subdivisions. Now, samase artha pradhanam bhavati. In Sandhi, what happened? In Sandhi, if Purva Varna is there and Para Varna is there, and if the parameters, if the conditions are matching, then the Sandhi will occur. Any place. It could be, that is different story, that if where Sandhi is compulsory or where Sandhi is not compulsory. But the sounds, the combination of the combination of sound, the sound transformation, if the conditions are matching, then the rules of Sandhi will be applied irrespective of anything. But in Samasa, there is Artha Pradhan. Samasa, there is Artha Pradhan. We have to establish the relationship between 2 padas based on the, understanding the 2 meanings. The 2 meanings of the words. So based on that, when we understand the relationship of the 2 words and the word which we want to indicate through the Samastam Padam, the new Pratipadikam or the new compound word, we want to indicate the meaning. We want to indicate a particular object through the help of 2 words. So after understanding the rules of Samas and after understanding the rules or the relationship between 2 padas, then we can apply the Samas rules. So that's why here the main intention, the main basis is given to the Artha. There is Artha Pradhanam. For example, Aham Chatvam Cha Rajendra Lokhanatha Vubhavapi. Bahuvrihi raham rajan shashti tat purusho bhava. Bahuvrihi samasa, if you see here, lokah natah yasya saha. Lokah natah yasya saha anathah. Lokam ashritya jivati bhikshukah, for whom the whole world is his Lord. Okay. So here, if you see, Bahuvrihi Samasa is being applied. Bahuvrihi Samasa is being applied for the word Lokanatha. Lokanatha is a Samastampada. And in that, if we want to apply Bahuvrihi Samasa, then through applying Bahuvrihi Samasa, we are getting the meaning that Anatha, or the person for whom the whole Loka, for whom the whole world is his Lord. Because the beggar is dependent on the whole world. The beggar is dependent on the people. Yes. So for whom the whole world is the Lord, that is Lokanataha, according to the Bahuvrihi Samasa. So Bahuvrihi Samasa is giving this type of meaning, that Lokanataha means not that the person who is the Natha of the Loka, or the master of the Lord, the master of the world, but rather for whom the world is the master. So by Bahuvrihi Samasa, we are intending that the Lokanatha means for whom the Loka, the world, is the Nath. So that is Anatha, or the beggar. Okay. In Shashtitat Purusha Samasa, that is another type of Samasa. And then the Vigraha Vakyam, the explanation which has been given through the Shashtitat Purusha Samasa is that for the Lokanatha word, Lokasya Natha, or the Natha, or the master, or the king of the world. That is Raja. So through the help of Bahuvrihi Samasa, we are telling that for whom the whole world is the Natha, but by the help of Shashtitat Purusha Samasa, we are intending to give the different meaning of the word Lokanatha, that is Lokasya Natha, that is Raja. So this is the magic. This is the magic of the Sanskrit Samasas. By the help of different Samasa, we can get different meanings. And this is the way through which Acharyas give many different explanations of one verse, and glorifying in different ways, they glorify Lord Sri Krishna. So they give different explanation of that particular word, and different meanings are coming out, so that different qualities, different attributes of Lord Sri Krishna are spoken. This is the richness of vocabulary of Sanskrit. This is the very, through the help of Samasa, we can give many different meanings for glorifying Lord Sri Krishna. But another aspect of this Samasa is that you use this Samasa, you manipulate this Samasa to give wrong meanings to the shlokas. If you put wrong Samasa for the word, then you will get wrong meaning. Okay, you will get wrong meaning, and the meaning which is not intended by the writer or by the author. So that should not be the case. Like Mayavadis, so Mayavadis, what do? They have written Shankaracharya and other. They have written commentary on Bhagavad Gita, Vedanta Sutra. Sometimes where Lord is clearly spoken. Sometimes in the shlokas, if you see, the Lord is clearly glorified as personal or as a person. But still, with the help of Samasa, while manipulating it, while wrongly giving wrong explanation of the Samasa, which is not intended, which is not desired by the author. So then the different wrong meanings are applied. And in that way, we are actually blaspheming. We are doing aparadha for both the author of the scripture and for the object through which the author wants to denote by that particular word. Okay. So this just I'm giving some explanation, some background, but later on, if you study hermeneutics or Mimamsa Shastra, then you can get more broader idea of how the meaning, how to give meanings of different words. Okay, so kasmin samase kaha artah pradhanah. So just a little bit idea I want to give. Like for example, prayah uttara padartha pradhanah tat purusha samasah. Uttara padartha pradhana. So that means the uttara pada or the next word is pradhana in tat purusha samasa. Generally. Then prayah anya padartha pradhanah in bahuvrihi samasa. Bahuvrihi samasa is another type of samasa, and in that the anya padartha, the another word, the third word, another word is the pradhana, or that meaning is intended. And in prayah ubhaya padartha pradhana, the importance is given to both of the padas in dvandva samasa generally. Prayah purva padartha pradhanah in avyayi bhava samasa. In avyayi bhava samasa, the importance or the priority, the more importance is given to the purva pada. The purva pada. The meaning of the purva pada. So that is given more importance through the avyayi bhava samasa. So etesham kechana apavadaha santi tan tatriva sthale gyasyaamaha. Here there are many apavadas, many exceptions in these samasas, and that I will be discussing in those places. When I will be discussing those samasas, then that time only I will give more explanations to them. In Tatpurusha Samasa, there are more subdivisions. In Tatpurusha Samasa, we have subdivisions. What are they? Samanya Tatpurusha Samasa, Karmadharaya Samasa, Dviguhu Samasa, and Naya Prabhritaya Samasa. So in that Samanya Tatpurusha Samasa, we have more. How many? 7 types. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Dvitiya Tatpurusha Samasa, Tritiya Tatpurusha Samasa, Chaturthi Tatpurusha Samasa, Panchami Tatpurusha Samasa, Shashti Tatpurusha Samasa, Saptami Tatpurusha Samasa, Ekadeshi Tatpurusha Samasa. And in Karma Dharaya, we have 9 Prabhedaha, Nava Prabhedaha, which I will be listing later on. So Karma Dharaya, we have 9 subtypes. And in Dvigu Samasaha, we have 3 types. Tadhitarte, Uttarapade, and Samahar. Then in Naya Prabhritaya Samasaha, we have Naya Samasaha, Ku Samasaha, Gati Samasaha, Pradi Samasaha, and Upapada Samasa. So these are the divisions of the Tatpurusha Samasa. In that way, these are the primary divisions of the different samasas. Anyone has any questions until now?
Prabhu, how difficult it will be to remember these, because it's another, like, so many details on different types of samasas.
No need to memorize many names. In this course, I will be discussing only the important samasas which are very often seen in the scriptures. In Bhagavad Gita, basically, Shashti Tat Purusha Samasaha, Tritiya Tat Purusha Samasaha, Saptami Tat Purusha Samasaha, and Dvitiya Tat Purusha Samasaha, and Bahuvrihi Samasaha, and Avibhava Samasaha, there are some 5-6 types of main important samasas, which are very often seen. So that only I will be discussing in the course, which will be highly useful for you to understand the meaning of the shlokas. But otherwise, for those who are intending to study the kavyas, the kavya, the poetry written by the great kavis like Kalidasa, Bhasa, or many other kavis. So that is actually very high level of samasa they use. And in that, to study the Kavya Shastra, that place we should be conversant with the samasa, the divisions of the samasa, which I just mentioned now. But just to understand the Bhagavad Gita, the samasa which is used in Bhagavad Gita shlokas and in Bhagavatam shlokas, so there are some important ones which I will be discussing in this class, in these classes extensively. And you can get a very proper idea. And also I will be giving many good supportive materials, supportive documents, which will be highly useful for you to grasp the concepts of samasa. Yes. Okay, any other question? But just for, I'm just enumerating them. I'm just enumerating all the samasas for you to just get an idea that what are the details of samas. And there is so much to learn. There is so much to learn in samasa, and it's a very broad concept. It's a huge concept. Even more, there are more intricacies than the sandhi also. Because sandhi
So,
occurs only between two sounds, but samasa is artha pradhana. We
so
want to intend some meaning. Yes.
yeah, so in Sandhi, it's like we are looking at the word and then Sandhi Vichhed, then we will know exactly what kind of Sandhi is. Would that be the similar case with Samas also? Like when the words are joined together, we would exactly know that we can break it and then we can know that, okay, this is the kind of Samas.
Samasa, Sandhi is easier, Prabhu. Sandhi is easier than Samasa, but Samasa will require a lot of practice.
Mhm.
Samasa will require a lot of practice and it will also require uh, a lot of vocabulary.
Got
So
it. Yeah.
if you know the meaning of those words and if you have practiced a lot, if you have seen the words very often, for example, Sitapati, he's there. And if you have seen this word very often in the sentences in many in many of the kavyas, then you will be automatically able to understand. Okay, the samas which is being applied in this samasta padam is shashti tat purusha samasa. So that's what. But in Sandhi, you just have to look to the sounds, that the Puravarna and Paravarna, that's it. But in the Samasa, through the help of Vigraha Vakyams and through the help of exercise, through the help of more practice, then you can do the proper, the breaking of the Samastam Padam and giving the proper Vigraha Vakyams. So that will come gradually, prove when I will be discussing about Tat Purusha. So how the Vigraha Vakyams are how the Vigraha Vakyams are denoted. So that will come gradually. But in Sandhi, only the sounds they join and there is a sound transformation. But in Samasa, it's not just about the sounds. It's more about the artha, which you want to intend through the Samastam Padam.
Prabhu, I have a following question, maybe not that relevant. So it's like all the literature, the scriptures, what we have, what Prabhupada has given us. Those are like the poetry form, or particularly Bhagavad Gita. Those are like verses. But is there something that like the free flowing, like in material education, like in Hindi or something? There are some Sahitya which you can read continuously. Those are sentences. Is there some recommendation that we should read in certain way that we will be familiar with the sentence? So for example, the Sanskrit news is there where it's like they read, so it's like they make sentences, long sentences. Is there some recommendation like that, Prabhu?
Uh, in Hindi Sahitya, see, Prabhu, in Hindi, the vocabulary which is being used, the samastam, in Hindi also there are many words where the samastam padams are there, or where the samas is being applied. So that's why the original thing it's coming from Sanskrit only.
Mhm.
But Hindi Sahitya, definitely there could be many Sahitya and there could be so many translations of the Kavya Shastra which is rendered in Sanskrit itself. Like for example, Kalidas's there are many
Mhm.
Kavyas. So there could be many like for example Shishupala Vadha Kavyam, Shishupala Vadha. So Shishupala Vadham is written by Kalidas. And Kalidas, the Shishupala Vadham, if you see, the Hindi translation is done by some author. And through
Mhm.
that, you can maybe become familiar with these Samastam Padams. But I would recommend, Prabhu, that you go for Bhagavad Gita first of all, because
Right.
Kavya Shastra are very complex.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
very difficult to understand at initial level. If you don't have any idea about how the Kavyas work, how the Kavyas are designed, and what type of Kavya it is, and how the meaning is intended, so it will be difficult for you at the initial level. So
Yes,
it will
Prabhu.
be good that you start with Bhagavad Gita, because in Bhagavad Gita, the Sandhi Samasa which is being used, it's very simple, very basic.
Mhm.
Yeah. So if what you do is you can search on Google. You search for Bhagavad Gita grammar by Hari Venu Das.
Hari Venu
Bhagavad
Das.
Gita
Okay.
grammar by Hari Venu Das. Then the volume number 3, Bhagavad Gita grammar volume number 3, if you just look at it, you can find that for each shloka, he has given a detailed grammatical analysis of each shloka of all of the 700 Bhagavad Gita shlokas. And which
Mhm,
samasa is being applied, which pratyaya in the krit pratyaya is being applied to which dhatu, what is the dhatu, and what is the pratyaya, and what is the subantam padam here. Is it which pada is avyaya, which pada is a normal subantam padam, which pada is tingantam padam, which is it atmanipada form, or is it parasipadi form, or is it kartari prayoga, or is it karmani prayoga. Everything is explained in that Bhagavad Gita grammar volume 3 by Hari Venu Das. It's an excellent contribution, excellent rendition by him. And that book I will be sharing with you in the later classes. So until now, you don't know what is samasa. That's why I was not sharing.
mhm,
So after you become acquainted with the rules of samasa, then I will be sharing this whole book, and gradually we will be learning how to do the anvaya or the analysis of the shloka.
mhm.
So then it will
Sure,
be highly
Prabhu.
useful.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'll wait for you to share rather than I doing the research since you
Yeah.
already done it. Yeah.
Just
Thank you.
just to satiate your curiosity, I just told
Yeah.
that you can refer that book and can explore it.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Prabhuji, one small thing. See the terminologies, the types of samadhas and the different names of sandhis.
Yes.
Without knowing the names, suppose if you know, yadi plus api, yadyapi, we know.
Yes.
We do not know what sandhi, yan sandhi probably we don't remember. But that is
Yes.
not required, isn't it? That's suppose that
Names are good, Prabhu. Basically, names will be like, for example, in Sandhi, if you just know how to break that Sandhi and how the Sandhi is being applied, then that will be enough. But when you are doing Samasa, then it will be good, Prabhu, that you remember the names also. It will be good. Otherwise, it will be like complete confusion. It will be complete mixture of samasas. And you will not know which samasa will give which type of vigraha vakyam. Okay, so it will be better that you know what is the name of the samasa and what is the vigraha vakyam which will be derived through that particular samasa. In Sandhi, if you remember the name of Sandhi, initial level, it is good that you remember the names of Sandhi because you are learning now. But when you gradually just study, like even Bhagavad Gita, so that time you don't need to again remember the names of Sandhi. But for Samasa, if Bhagavad Gita, there is some Samasa is being applied, so it will be better that you remember the names of Samasa. And some major names like Bahubrihi Samasa, Tatpurusha Samasa. These are some major Samasas which you can remember. Yes.
a small terminals like Rama plus Lakshmana, Rama Lakshmana. We did not know the name. We did not know the name of
It is Dvandva
what.
Samasa. Dvandva Samasa.
Suppose if you don't remember that name, it's okay.
Yeah, if you don't remember, yeah, unless and until if you are doing correct Vigraha Vakyam,
Because we know
then
the meaning, we know how to combine and how to
if
make
you are
samadhi.
if you are properly able to do the Vigraha Vakyam or the explanation of that particular Samasta Padam, then that's correct. If you are not able to do that initial level, I would like to advise that everyone memorize the names of the Samasa. But if you are able to do proper Vigraha Vakyam, then no problem. No problem.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other doubts? Is it clear for everyone the concepts which I taught in today's class? Basically, today I just gave a introduction to what is samasa and what is the the difference between sandhi and samasa, and what are the subdivisions or the major divisions of samasa. Just to give you a broader idea. In the upcoming classes, I will be discussing in detail how the samasa has to be applied and how the relationship between two words has to be established. Okay. Okay, so there are no further questions and no comments, and then I will conclude here. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.